All right, folks, welcome back. This is JE Live, and we're here in Rolling Hills following a Rams 41-34 win. And we are here, not just me, it's my father, the reason why I am a Rams fan. So, welcome, Dad.
Yeah, thank you. And hello, everybody.
Yeah, so what a game. Shout out to our friend Ernesto for hooking us up. Amazing seats. We got to see this game in the 130 section, and it was something else. I mean, I turned over to you. I mean, I cannot stand the Lions. It's sad because I used to really like them. Obviously, when Matthew Stafford was there, but this just felt so good. This win, there are some things you got to clean up, and without a doubt, we'll get into that. But just to come away with this win, be the first team in the NFL to clinch a playoff spot, and do it for the third time. The other two times they've done that, they've gone to the Super Bowl in '99 and of course 2018. It's a good time to be a Rams fan.
For sure. For sure. This one was really satisfying. I've been to a lot of Rams games and seen a lot of wins and a lot of great wins. Something about this was just, like I said, extra satisfying. Plus the environment. This was my first time at SoFi. And I mean, what an amazing stadium. And to have the seats that we had as well, I'm sure contributed a bit to the overall feeling. But I mean, the day really got started off right. Going through the tailgating and just seeing the sea of Rams fans. When we're told on the other side of the country that there's no Rams fans in LA. Well, I seriously beg to differ.
Yeah.
That not only were there a lot of them, but I mean, diehards and just such great people. I mean, everywhere you go, you have people offering you food and drinks, and everyone just loves to talk about the Rams. And it was a really great time from the beginning of the day to the end.
Yeah, it was awesome, and we got there early. We got there around like 9, and there were already, the 9 Rams fans comment that 49er fans make. Try 90 to 100 in the first row that we were in.
Right.
From the get go. I mean, everybody was out having a good time, and it's just it's always a lot of fun. I've never had a bad experience coming here, and obviously they lost the two games that I went to at SoFi, but they won this one, and I will tell you, it's always a win anytime you're going to a Rams tailgate. Shout out to Rams Republic, shout out to RWO, and all the other Rams tailgates that were offering us food and what have you. Just a awesome time. Really appreciate it. But man, what a win today. And I understand people are going to look at the negatives, and I mean that's part of our. The point of the show is that I want to delve into everything. I don't want to just look at the positives, but there's just so many positives right now. I mean, I was just telling you, 420 points this year for the Rams. And that means if they average 30 the rest of the way, at least, 30, they're going to go over 500. So it's pretty crazy when you think about it. That's very possible. And, this game on Thursday is going to be huge. But before we get into that, just the scope of this season, we've watched just about every game together. The only two we haven't seen together, I believe, no, I think 3 because Tampa. But it's been Tampa and then the other two that I went to, and watching these games together, it's such a blast because while this offense started off, and you mentioned it, they got off to a slow start at the beginning of the year. They have come into their own, and not just come into their own like they're a really good offense. They are by far the best offense in the league. They have over 1,000 yards the last 2 games, 11 touchdowns. They're incredible right now.
And they're moving the ball at will on the ground and in the air. It's almost like whatever McVay decides he wants to do. Maybe I'll run it here for a little while, pass it here for a little while. I know sometimes we get frustrated, want to see the run a little bit more, but it kind of brings me back to my, I grew up in the 70s and 80s as a Rams fan, and I always wanted them to pass it more.
Yeah, I feel like it's been run the damn ball since McVay
Yeah.
got here. Because, I mean, you had Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
And even I remember us complaining about Todd because he was so unstoppable most of the time. And McVay would only run it to him 18 to 22 times. And it's like, this guy should be getting 30 plus carries a game. So that was, whatever. But yeah, the funny thing is Kyron walks away with only 15 carries in this one. Blake goes for 11. They both go over 70 yards in this game. 3 touchdowns total. Just I think lately, and I made a video on this, and I wanted to give credit where credit's due. They are great. Blake is seeing the field a lot quicker. He's making decisive moves. You're seeing it. He's Kyron, but he's also, I think, more feistier than years past because he has that weight added onto him. But this offensive line, I mean, I mentioned it in the live stream on our way back, and you see Aleem McNeil, and you see big bodies like DJ Reader, and don't get me wrong, Aiden Hutchinson does a great job against the run as well. They dominated today.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't feel like the Lions could stop this run game at all. Like that's from my perspective. So, I think what was it? I was joking, but I mean, I might not have been wrong. I was like, wow, that was the weakest run of the day for Kyron, and it went for 4.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and speaking of the offensive line, and speaking of the 70s and 80s Rams that I grew up with, I mean, it was the offensive line was, that was the anchor of the team, and the reason they won almost every year as I was growing up. That anyone you put back there could run, and then you put this guy back there, and he's got a rookie rushing record and a single season rushing record that still have not been broken over 40 years later. So it's I mean, the line is really crucial. When you have a great offensive line, you're going to win games.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, how many points did they just score last game? Was it 42?
Yeah.
44? I don't remember. Point is, they've just scored 80 plus points in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And this is a team, I mean, the fact that I went to 3 games, most I've ever gone a season for the Rams. And 2 of the 3 games, they scored 40 plus. It just feels like this offense has gotten to the point. And the good news for people that are really concerned about Davante Adams is that it doesn't really feel like Davante Adams has been like such a huge crutch for this offense. Like the way Puka Nacua is.
Right.
Like a fourth and Puka, essentially.
Yeah. Red zone, but other than that, today he had some big catches outside the red zone.
He did. But, I just don't, like, if he's down for the next 3 games and he's out until the playoffs, I think that's what's best for the Rams. I don't think they should even try it with him. I think they should be very cautious about the hamstring. And I'm at the point where I'm like, Colby Parkinson, 75 yards, 5 catches, 2 touchdowns, a deep bomb, all that. It's gotten to the point where I feel like the Rams are kind of foolproof. I feel like without Nacua, they were still winning.
Yep.
They might just have the secret sauce right now, and that's the best quarterback in the league, the MVP. Minus 300 are the odds now for him. Drake May, for those of you who didn't see, he dropped to plus 400 across those because, let's be honest here, Drake May was not good enough to win today. Blew a 21-point lead against the Bills, and then Josh Allen ended up winning that game. So, yeah, I think right now the secret sauce is that you have the best play caller in the league in Sean McVay, best play designer in the league in Sean McVay, and you have the best quarterback in the league in Matthew Stafford. And as frustrating as the offensive line was at times today, because it was, it felt like there were times where he was under pressure a lot more than he has been. They've been great too. And it's not just the pass protection, it's also the run game. Right. So now you factor in Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, you factor in a tight end room that's had 12 touchdowns, and now Matthew Stafford, 37-5, and you're like, okay, well, who's going to be able to... you don't want to say they're unstoppable because the defense has been able to be scored on, but how are you going to keep up with this offense?
The
How are you going
offense
to
has been
score with this
unstoppable.
offense?
And
That's
just
the
keeps
thing.
getting better. And I mean, you mentioned the tight ends, and I mean, even with Higbee out, the other three tight ends just seem to be getting better and better. And especially, like you said, I mean, Parkinson just,
He is exactly what I thought he was going to be, but like it took him
it took a
a
little
little bit,
longer, right?
but he just looks so cool, collected, confident, and just comfortable in this system. And it's a good thing for him because I think he was on the outs, and now I think they're definitely going to keep him next year, without a doubt. But Parkinson has been really key. And, unfortunately, it's not his fault. I was saying it in the stream. Ferguson is always open. It's a really good sign for the future.
Right.
Stafford's just got to be able to hit him. That's my one gripe. Well, two gripes with Stafford.
Right.
The what is it? The short passing, not short passing, but the screen passing,
yeah.
as we saw today. And then Ferguson, wide open. And he's been missing Ferguson. But aside
You got to
from
come
that,
up with something negative.
yeah, I can't just constantly.
Otherwise, you're just a homer. But
Yeah.
it's hard when the guy's having such an amazing season. There's not much negative. Not much negative to speak of.
No, it's the offense is just so fun to watch because it doesn't feel like any lead is too much now for them.
Yeah.
They can come back. They were down 10 in this game.
I wasn't concerned. I said,
Yeah.
we're going to end up winning by 10, which we didn't, but we easily could have. That garbage time touchdown with
It felt that way.
with the gifted first down.
Oh, awful on Emmanuel Fort. We'll get into that. That was awful. But so Stafford goes for 368 against his former team, 2 touchdowns, interception, just a really nice play by Hutchinson.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great throw, but like
Right.
he's catching it away from his body. I mean, that's a better, reception than most receivers are making in this game. So say what you will. I thought Hutchinson deserved a lot of credit for that, catch. Kyron and Blake go over 140, almost 150 yards combined on 26 carries, 3 touchdowns, not half bad. I don't understand why, but they decided to use Puka Nacua on that third down. That run after he was already out of the game, very puzzling to me. Nacua, speaking of which, goes for another 181 against the Lions. He owns them in every way.
He owns the whole league right now.
Yeah.
How is it possible that a guy that is so dominant is now continuing to get better?
I know.
And every week he has catch after catch. I mean, last week was insane. It got to the point where I'm not even going to say how amazing that catch was because it's just every catch is like it's
if he's
hard to
covered,
believe.
he's open.
Yeah.
Didn't they say that about the Giants? Was tight end or wide receiver Mark Bavaro?
Oh, Mark Bavaro. Yeah.
Like if he's covered, he's open. That's the way it was. Well, there you go. Like if Puka's covered, he's open. He's on pace to easily have the most contested catches of any receiver in NFL history since contested catches, of course, were counted. Stafford's played with Calvin Johnson, and yet I sit here and say confidently, Puka Nacua does more than Calvin did. Like, Calvin could go up, and he was Megatron. He could make any play, like you just throw it up to Calvin. But it just feels different with Nacua. He's not the same athlete. He's not as tall, but he does everything so well. And it's so hard because, you watch that play where, like, Stafford throws it over the middle, and it's a tight window. He fits it in, and then he's just breaking tackle after tackle after tackle, spinning out of tackles.
Right.
And then you see the blocking, and it's just like everything he does, he's just such a joy to watch. And to think, the Rams went from Cooper Kupp to him.
Right.
It's just like Aaron Donald to Jared Verse, right? Like it's pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yeah. You want to say it's lucky, but it's not lucky because they're finding these guys. They know what to look for, which is why they do so well in the draft in the lower rounds. They know what to look for. And I think that other teams are looking for the wrong things. Maybe they're looking at, numbers and, this guy's got amazing physical ability, and they're looking for guys who are football players who can produce.
Yeah.
And they find them. And that's a pretty big advantage when you can find guys like that in the fifth round.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, their scouting department is crazy. Puka Nakua was talented all the whole time. I mean, he was at Washington, then he suffers an injury, then he goes to BYU, and he was a guy that I had identified as somebody that I liked, but I never got a chance to finish his report. So I was watching Jaron Hall tape. I remember telling you this, and number 12 just making plays everywhere, and it was the spatial awareness and
Right.
sideline awareness, and just he always. One thing, maybe I'm just a little over the top about this, but when I see a receiver get 2 feet in bounds in college, that's a receiver I want to draft.
Right.
And he was always trying to do that. I know it's like extra credit, but like still, I always cared
Well,
about
you're
that.
also preparing for your career.
Yeah.
You plan to have a career in the NFL. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So they've just done such a nice job, and you see it all across the board. And the pro scouting department, which I think McKay has been a part of. John McKay. I don't know if he was the reason they went after Poona Ford, but Poona Ford, we're going to get into the defense in a little bit here, but Poona Ford has just been so key and critical to this team.
What an amazing pickup.
Yeah, and the two things they sought out to do in the offseason, at least from my perspective and how I kind of, view it, is they saw that Eagles loss and they knew they should have won.
Right.
But they also weren't ignorant to the fact that they lost because of a few things.
Yeah.
And those two things, one, running the football, they, weren't able to run the football the way they wanted to. And then number two, stopping the run. And
That might have been number one.
well that was number one. But they go out and it's not talked about nearly enough, like in this aspect, because Poona Ford and Nate Landman, they came as a package deal in my opinion. You go out, you get them. Landman was outstanding against the run. He was a player I brought up a year ago or 2 years ago that I wanted the Rams to go after if he was cut by the Falcons. I thought he was so good against the run in the preseason. I was like, that guy could help. And then Poona Ford, I mean, you already know he can rush the passer, 5'11". He's smaller, but he's also thick. So he can make plays. And, Bobby Brown was very good for them. But you see what Poona Ford does, and that's why Saquon Barkley's and, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jonathan Taylor's and Christian McCaffrey's don't do shit against this defense. It was so impressive today because you just felt like they're going to win this game, but when the Lions kept it close, they're just one Jahmyr Gibbs home run hit away from taking over the game, and that's kind of the scary thing.
And what did he average? Was it 2.6?
Yeah, they shut him down. If you can do the math, 13 carries for 38 yards, 7 carries for 32 for David Montgomery. He did find pay dirt, but
2.9 for Gibbs.
2.9 for Gibbs. And that was a big thing that I had highlighted in a previous video. I'm like, they're going to have to, really, stop Gibbs, and they did that. And I think that was a big thing. But we'll get into the defense, finishing up on the offense. And I want to get to super chats before we get to the defense because I see we have some. So, Puka Nacua, 9 catches, 181 yards. He has 181 yards, just like he did in the exact 181 yards in the playoff game. Parkinson, 75 and 2 touchdowns. Devontae had 4 catches for 71. Davis Allen had 3 catches for 16. Kyron had a catch for 10. Tutu had a huge catch for 9. Even though it was really 11, I don't know what they were doing on the measurement there.
Interesting spot.
It was wild. Literally went out of bounds like ahead of the first down marker, but whatever. Terrence Ferguson caught a pass for 6 yards. It's so funny to me how the catches Ferguson makes obviously is like when it's thrown to him, he gets killed. That is the 6-yarder of death. I mean, he just got absolutely destroyed. But he was open like all game. You just know at some point Stafford's going to figure out how to get him the football consistently. He is going to be a problem. And, I'll tell you right now, people will sit there and say, he was a wasted pick. You see the guys that were drafted ahead of him. You can see the Rams' vision with Ferguson. You can see this isn't just a guy. This is somebody who's probably going to be, I think he'll be a lot like Tucker Kraft. That's what I kind of see. the Green Bay Packers. That's what I see. I see a guy that moves really fluidly. He's not a receiver. Stafford does overthrow him because he's wearing 18. I bet you if you put an 80 number on him, Stafford wouldn't overthrow him. But he sees 18 and he's like, oh, receiver.
I mean, I'm sure it's just a coincidence that it's happened to him.
Yeah.
But for some reason, how many passes have we seen where he's open? It's like, yep, he's got him.
And
5
then
years old,
magically,
2-5, yeah.
Parkinson almost always
Yep.
gets the perfect throw. It's funny, but yeah. Whittington and Konate had targets. That's all that happened there.
Back to Ferguson though.
Yeah.
People they don't have the patience and they don't understand. First of all, the other guys that we're talking about, they're not on the Rams. They're not on a team that has this tight end room. I mean, he's still third on the depth chart with Higbee out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's to get playing time, first of all, is going to be different, on this team because there's such incredible depth. And that's not just at that position. And the running back position, too, because people talk about Hunter. That's a wasted pick. I mean, and then the other thing is it's a complicated offense, and there's certain things you have to be able to do well in order to get on the field.
Absolutely.
And that's why positions like that, tight end position is the hardest position to learn anyways, because you're really a receiver and an offensive lineman. And it takes some time. And like you said, at some point, you're going to see Ferguson. I think he's going to hit it big. And you go, oh, okay, I guess it was worth the wait. Look at Parkinson. He wasn't even a rookie. But he came to the Rams. He needed, kind of a year of acclimation. And, now you're really seeing him pick it up as well.
No, it's absolutely true. It's been fun to watch. I think Ferguson is going to be a stud in this league. I think I've already seen just the way he moves, how much better of a blocker he's become. It's looking like a really good pick. And, I had a lot of people that asked me at the tailgate, like, who would you draft? And I hate college football, as you know. I despise it. I don't enjoy it. I like watching it in isolation where, like, I'll watch tape after the season when I'm focusing on players.
Prospects.
But, that kid from USC that I know a lot of people like, Makai Lemon, he looks like a Rams receiver to me. And I think I would go with another weapon for Stafford. Maybe add, a defensive back as well, chest piece.
Right.
Especially if you lose Quentin Lake in the offseason, you're going to need somebody to...
Don't say that.
I don't want him, but I'm always going to be honest, you know. Like, obviously, everyone knows Lake is my guy.
Yeah.
I just interviewed him not that long ago.
Well, the other thing is they're going to have a lot of contracts coming up.
Yeah.
With a lot of these young guys. And
exactly.
They'll have to draft for that, too. But, the big thing is with the depth that we have and the quality roster that we have, you really want to pick the best player available.
It's true. I always would go best player available. One thing I don't want to do, I'm not saying Mendoza's bad, but I don't want to just draft a quarterback for the sake of drafting a quarterback. Oh. And I don't think they're going to do that because I don't think Stafford is riding off into the sunset after they win the Super Bowl this year. I think Stafford's going to stick around because why would he ride off in the sunset?
Right.
When you've created an offense like this, and think about who's going out the door. Let's go through it. Quarterback, Stafford, likely going to stay, right? He's still under contract. They just have to kind of figure that all out. Kyron, he's locked in. Blake, locked in. Then you have your wide receivers. Devontae Adams, is he going to make $28 million next year? I don't know. He's making 13 right now.
Right.
But he is under contract. Puka Nacua, under contract. Tutu Atwell's out the door, but you have Konate Mumfield. You have Jordan Whittington, right? You have Xavier Smith. So that is a good wide receiver room to add another guy via the draft. Right. But then your tight ends, Higbee's out the door unless you bring him back. You got Colby, you got Davis, and you have Terrence Ferguson. Then you look at the offensive line. Alaric signed long-term. Steve Avila is still under contract. Coleman Shelton has another year left. Kevin Dotson and Warren McClendon Jr. So there's no reason why this offense that they've unlocked, They've found the secret sauce. There's no reason why they can't do what they're doing now next year. So why would Stafford retire when you've built an offense that quarterbacks dream of having?
Yeah.
This is the best offense Stafford's been in. This is better than the Super Bowl team. This would beat the Super Bowl team by 10 points.
Oh yeah, definitely the best team in the McVay era. I think roster-wise, it's the best team that I've seen in my lifetime as a Rams fan. Which I began as a Rams fan in 1977. There's been some really, really good teams,
Yeah.
including the greatest show on turf, and they obviously would give us a run for the money. But I just think depth-wise, because in this game there's injuries, and
Yeah.
the system that we have here, and that's this going off on a whole nother subject, but what McVay has done here, I think there's still a lot of Rams fans that just don't understand what we have. This guy is special. This guy is, if he doesn't get burned out and retire too early, he's going to be in the discussion among the greatest all time. And what he's put together, if you just look at it, this culture and this system and the way he works with the front office, the way they work together as a team, I've never seen anything like it. You could say the Patriots with Bill Belichick, but I'm not even sure,
Yeah. It's
when all is said and done, that this is better than that.
That's the thing, is that obviously it's going to be hard to keep them long term, and that's how you can create a dynasty. But if you can get Stafford to play another 3 years, why can't they win 2 Super Bowls in the next 3 years
Right.
with the offense that they have?
Right.
The defense, we'll see what ends up happening. That's where it gets dicey, because they have. This is why their offense is under lock and key, and why I feel so confident about them doing what they're doing next year. Because there has to be a balance, and like you've played RPG games, you played Elden Ring. If I put all of my points into strength or vitality or whatever the hell, then like luck is down, defense is down, whatever. The Rams chose to spend most of their money on the offense. So because of that, it puts a lot of pressure on them to draft a really good defense,
Right.
and be able to develop said defense and have the coaching staff, but also it puts pressure on them to sign all those guys.
Right.
Because that's the thing. They're not really getting tons of free agents on the defensive side. A lot of those guys are 6th, 7th round picks that are becoming like, oh crap, I have to pay Quentin Lake, 6th round pick out of UCLA.
Right.
And so when you look at the defense, that's the one thing that could get in the way. You're going to have to pay Jared Verse. Now paying pass rushers because of Myles Garrett's insane deal. You're going to have to pay him like 40, 50 million a year. Yep. Same thing with Puka Nacua on the other side. So when you think about that, you have to pay Verse, you're going to have to pay Young, or you have to at least figure that out. Are you going to move on from him? Whatever. Josiah Stewart kind of sets the clock at that position. So if he can take over, then, you can move on from one of them. Likely Byron Young, but still. Then you have the interior, and you got Kobe Turner, you got Braden Fisk, and you have Poona Ford under contract another 2 years after this. So you feel good about that. You drafted Ty Davis, so you have him a little bit longer. But the point being is it's a lot of contracts. And then you look, linebacker, they locked in Landman. Love that. Omar Spates, they have him for another 2-3 years, right? So that's good. The cornerback room, though, Darius Williams is going to be under contract next year, but he's going to be, I think, $8 million. I don't know if they keep him. Kobe Durant, free agent. Kello Witherspoon, free agent. Emmanuel Forbes will be under contract, but do you pick up that 5th-year option? It was looking great after the Tampa game, but now I don't know, So that's the interesting thing. And then you have Cam Curl, who's going to be a Pro Bowler. He's going to cost a lot. Do they bring him back? Do you bring back Quentin Lake? So that is the real thing, is how do you operate that defense? But right now, the offense looks so good and so ready for 2026, and they're ready for right now, and they're ready to win a Super Bowl. And really, kind of a long story short, already short story long, is that the reality is Matthew Stafford has no reason to go anywhere because he has the perfect offense for him, and they can go and use one of those draft picks for another offensive weapon.
Yeah. The other reality is that, as fun as it is to talk about the future, we have the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
You know, really, we should be concentrating on the present.
No, I agree.
But yeah, that's the idea that we got to be looking for a quarterback in the draft next year. Matthew Stafford loves to play the game. From all accounts, from anyone who knows him,
Yeah.
he loves to play the game. I don't think that he wants to just stop playing, and he certainly doesn't want to stop playing after having his best season. I don't see him as a right off into the sunset guy.
No.
I see him as I'm going to play until I'm not helping the team anymore.
And to be fair, for guys like, say, Andrew Whitworth, he was 40,
Yeah.
I feel like Stafford, he's 37. He'll be 38 in January, I believe. I get, like, that feels old, but we saw 46-year-old Tom Brady. We see 44-year-old Phillip Rivers almost win today. I mean...
Against arguably the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah. I know, crazy. It's... I guess, like, I don't understand the whole, I just want Stafford to win a ring and, retire.
Yeah.
Like, I hear that all the time, and I'm like, why are we rushing him out the door for, like, Joe Burrow, for instance?
Yeah.
Like, enjoy Stafford the way he is right now because he's the best damn quarterback in the league. And he might be the best player in the league. Like, that's the crazy
how special
thing right
he
now.
is, too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Is that, we all those years in Detroit, and then after the Super Bowl year, we had all those injuries, including his, and then we're essentially rebuilding a team, winning 10 games and going to the playoffs. And, that doesn't happen without him. You know, and not to throw shade on Jared Goff, and not that I'm afraid to do that, but he's not Matthew Stafford up here.
It's
And
true.
that is what happens. That's why these quarterbacks like Stafford and like Brady, they seem to be getting better with age, even though they might be losing something physically.
Bill Belichick said that. They
Yeah.
get wiser.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
And at that position, there's so much to know. You have to make such quick decisions. You have to be not even have to think about it. You have to you drop back and you can see everything. You know exactly where to, and then you see it when you look at his throws. Just watch some of his throws. Go back and, if you can get the all 22, go back and look at what he's doing, and then look at some other games. Find even some of the top quarterbacks. They don't make throws like him.
No.
So you have a guy that can make throws like that. All right, Jake's not in this anymore.
I love that.
You have a guy who can make throws like that, and then you have receivers like Puka Nacua who can just catch anything. And it's the deadly combination that we're seeing right now. We're just amazed. Again, how is Puka still getting better?
I don't know. The AI has woken up, by the way. The
unbelievable.
Yeah, so I bring my Insta360 webcam when I go on the go. So obviously I don't have a DSLR because I don't know any DSLR that has the AI thing. But that's what it was. So it does AI tracking, and if I drop out of the shot, then it's like, oh, there's only one person, and it peered over to him. Pretty cool, but also kind of creepy. I don't necessarily love it, and I can't really turn it off. So it is what it is. We'll make do of it. But yeah, so let's get into some super chats here.
Actually, before we do that, I noticed a comment. It's actually hard for me to read because I'm getting old and my eyes don't work as well. But I noticed a comment about why you are a Yankees fan, why you're not covering the Dodgers. And I thought, since I'm here and I think I'm the reason for this, or part of the reason anyways, I could kind of explain maybe my history. I did that a lot today as we were at the game talking to different people.
By all means.
So I guess I'll do that since I'm here. So I became a Rams fan. I was born in New York, but I moved to California in 1977. And I moved to Fountain Valley, and my neighbor was Jim Youngblood, the linebacker, number 53. And he became my favorite player. I became a Rams fan. I didn't follow football before that. I was only 7 years old, but 8 years old. And that's how I became a Rams fan. But before that, I was already a Yankees fan. So I've been a Yankees fan my whole life. 1977 and 78, of course, we beat the Dodgers, and all my friends at school hated me. But then 1984, I moved back to New York and have lived there ever since, other than 5 years in Massachusetts. And that's how he became a Rams fan. So it's not really how is he a Yankees fan, it's more why is he a Rams fan and a Lakers fan. So that's why. All the other sports, I'm LA, except for baseball, which I've always been a Yankees fan. So that's the short version of that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes, I love my Yankees. I always say this: I live in New York, and I like one New York team.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yep. Exactly.
Because I always,
you beat us last year, so
yeah, I was always asked straight up going to school, like, why am I a Jayhawk fan? Why am I not a Syracuse fan? I live in New York, and it was so irritating. I'm like, I like Albany.
yeah.
I like you, Albany. You went there, obviously. Yep. My girlfriend goes there. Jared Verse went there, right?
Yep.
So, Deuce Falco. Oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to read that. Shout out to Dad putting Jake on the correct path of being a Rams fan. Shout out to you, Dad.
Absolutely. It was. There were times when could be considered child abuse, sending my kids off to school with Rams gear in upstate New York, and they were absolutely horrible. He was alive for the greatest show on turf. I almost threw him through the ceiling when Mike Jones made that tackle, but he doesn't really remember that so much. So what he remembered was all those years of losing, 13 straight years before McVay. So yeah,
yeah.
But now it's worked out. So.
Yes, no, it definitely has. It's become a career venture, which is, I mean, I think that's better than what you probably could have even imagined.
Absolutely.
It being. So yes, I'll never forget going to school and wearing a Robert Quinn jersey. I liked him. I was hoping he would fall to the Rams out of UNC, because mind you, even though I was little, I used to follow the draft when I was little. I had like notepads and stuff. I know you're smiling over there because you did it too. But I've always been into the draft, and I liked Robert Quinn. I liked Quentin Coples. I like those two UNC guys. Coples was more of a defensive tackle. Robert Quinn was the edge defender, and a defensive end. And the Rams were in a 4-3 at that time. So when Quinn became available, and they said he had some, was it a brain tumor? I forget what they said, but he had some like major red flag. And while I hated it for him, I was like, I'll take him at 16. And the Rams took him, and I'm glad they did. But yeah, I wore the jersey to school, and I got bullied. Like, who the hell's Robert Quinn? What? It's like, it was just a running joke. Then he had 18 sacks, 9 forced fumbles that year, and people were like, oh, okay. He's pretty damn good. I was like, yeah, told y'all. Julian, thank you for, well, first off, if I didn't already do say, appreciate you with the 10. Julian, thank you for the 10. Hi, Jake and Jason, season ticket holder here, and was at the game today. I was wondering when and how you became a Rams fan since you're on the East Coast. Love your content. You kind of already answered this. Yeah.
There you go.
That. Yeah, I mean, I hate to...
That was a 2-for-1 answer.
Yeah, I hate to cut your super chat short there. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. There's not really much else to say.
The Rams are, when I get my favorite teams, it's like my blood, it's a part of when you bury me, I'll be buried with a Rams hat, Yankees jersey, whatever. It's just a part of the family,
Sports are big for our family.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why people always ask me, Dad, hey, why don't you do live watch parties? Because I'm watching it with him.
Right.
He comes to my apartment. So, he does. I've turned...
We do our thing.
I've become the symbiote.
Get stupid, angry, happy.
I've become the symbiote from Venom with my friends. It's like, beware. If you come over to watch one Rams game, you're probably watching all of them, and you'll be a Rams fan before you know it. My best friend Tyler turned into a Rams fan. My friend Joe Tronco, who has donated on this, and he might even be watching for all I know, probably texting me right now. But
Almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
turned him into a Rams fan. He ends up showing up at the apartment with a Quentin Lake jersey. My girlfriend might take some time. She's got a big Giants family, so she loves Puka though. So there's that.
Yep.
But don't sleep on it. Dread run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. All right. Thank you for the 300 GJW. The utilization of the tight end 13 package is the difference maker for me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
13 personnel grouping has been around forever. But the way the Rams operate it, this is why it is so dangerous. Because Puka Nacua can have 9 catches on 11 targets for 181 yards, and he doesn't have to be on the field the whole game.
Right.
And that's not how football is normally played, right? Your number one receiver is normally on the field the entire game. Maybe he's out for a few, but like he's out for half of the game.
Right.
And they're still converting. They're still coming through. So, the cool thing about this, and it kind of goes to show you why a Brock Bowers was somebody they wanted to trade up for.
Right.
I think they had this in mind for a while. I think they knew that Puka Nacua can be our guy. He can do it all. He can block. But you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. And if you're constantly... He what was it someone told me? That he's like... He's too young for his own good. Like, he hasn't become a veteran yet. He doesn't make business decisions.
Right.
But no, it's a good point, though, because if, you have a player like this who's capable of doing everything, that's great. But if you knew that Puka Nacua could block his ass off and catch and do all those things and not get injured, you'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to use him every play. But you don't know that. So taking a load off him a little bit and putting 13 personnel out there, and having a Kanate Mumfield and having a Jordan Whittington, guys that are going to go out there and block.
Right.
It's honestly the best course of action.
But you put the 3 tight ends in there, and all 3 of them can catch the ball too.
So
it's not like you're saying
they're all really good athletes.
Yeah, it's not like you're saying, oh, well, now we know it's a running play. It's not. In fact, I remember where we were sitting was right behind the bench where the players are coming off, and I remember seeing Puka and Adams coming off at the same time and thinking, oh, it's a running play, and then they passed.
Yeah, that's the beauty about it, and it's why I always bring up George Kittle. The 49ers know George Kittle, 100 yards, whatever, around that. The Rams don't look at it as we need one guy to do that, although he did today. They look at it as like, okay, 75 for Parkinson, 6 for Ferguson. That puts us at 81. So they had 97 yards today with Davis Allen. And so that's how they look at it. It's a group effort. The tight end room has 12 touchdowns as a whole. That's a really, this is the most, it's funny because they're not going to have a tight end that probably has 500 yards. But this is the most productive tight end room they've had in years.
And speaking of Kittle, he was your favorite player in the draft.
I know. Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
We were hoping we were going to draft him in the 2nd round, and then the 49ers, of all teams, gets him in the 5th round.
Every mock draft of mine, I had Kittle. But appreciate the super, and I totally agree with it. Board Skyler, thank you for the 5. Hawks fan here. I cannot wait for this game. Best division in football, boys. LFG, big fan of Jake. Not the Rams, though. Hey, I'll take it, though. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you being here. And I'm so bummed our flight is not going to get in time for me to do the round table. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with that. But I hate it so much. I want to be there so bad. I love that show so much, man. So, unfortunately, I'm going to miss that. But
do you have one before the game Thursday?
Wednesday, Brandon and I are doing a collab.
Okay.
So,
yeah, if you guys saw the last one, Brandon's phenomenal.
He's awesome.
It's funny, watching the round table has gotten me to have more respect for all the teams just because that group of guys is they're so knowledgeable and respectful, and it's like it's taken away some of the some of the hate.
Yeah, it's
added some
tough.
respect on top of the hate, I guess.
That's true. But
those guys are great, and Brandon's just very knowledgeable.
It's just a really, I just love doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could ask him. It's one of my favorite shows. I do it for free. I love it. I truly. Jesse has become such a close friend of mine. Mike, Brandon. I mean, we all talk. Z-Bot is great. I mean, the whole, the round table in general, round table sports. I mean, just all of them, right? Richie, Dan, TD. I mean, they've all been awesome. So it's just something I always enjoy. Every Tuesday, I get excited for it.
Yeah.
So
But we want to win, but I wish a good game and no injuries for either team.
yes, definitely. I'm so sick of the injuries, man.
Yeah.
Heart goes out to Mahomes. Heart goes out to Micah Parsons. It's that time of year where the wear and tear of the season. That's the scary thing. When you saw Devontae today, you're like, oh shit. Like,
It's another reason why having the depth that we have is so important.
yeah,
And you look at the real key to the season, every great Rams season, I mean, you can say this for every team, pretty much. Every great Rams season has health on the offensive line.
it's so true.
And, if they can stay together and play together, and that's the thing, McClendon came in, and, at first people are, oh, well, we need a new right tackle. No, we don't. This guy, it was a little tough today because he was going against one of the best defensive linemen in the league.
Is just incredible.
But he has been phenomenal, and he's just risen up the ranks and I mean, really solidified the line. And as they've all stayed healthy and worked together, it's, just a key to the season.
Absolutely. No, 100%. I mean, Hutchinson is just incredible, so I agree. But yeah, they probably should have chipped him more. No. All right. Julian, back at it. Thank you for the 5. I would have to say Marshall Faulk is the difference why the Gray Show on Turf is the better offense, in my opinion, guys. Stafford is 3 more years easy. I agree with that. Yeah. Faulk, that is a very good point because he was an extension of the coaching staff, and as Kurt Warner said, it was like having another quarterback on the field.
Yeah.
So when you have 2 quarterbacks on the field, you obviously have the advantage. Marshall Faulk, the pass protection, best in the league.
The greatest receiving running back of all time. He would have been a Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He just unreal.
Yep.
And then the vision, the quickness, and how he would set up blocks. Like he was so special.
Yeah.
So
and he could be, like you said, as far as his intelligence on the field, like being another coach. He was like a middle linebacker for the offense.
Well, my hot take all time. I think Marshall Faulk's the greatest running back of all time.
I do too. I mean, I know.
I know Barry Sanders. He was phenomenal, but
he wasn't the all-around back.
No one talks about the yards he lost, though.
Yes, he also lost.
They talk about how many of those, he did this and did that and made this, and he was fun, but they don't. Marshall Faulk. I mean, if he was in like today's NFL with like the lighter boxes, to basically mitigate the passing attack, he would destroy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you saw the Saquon Barkley season. Like Marshall Faulk, if he had a chance to go up against these lighter boxes today, would destroy. Also, Marshall Faulk's power was underrated.
Yeah.
Like he could run you over too.
Yeah.
He was big. Like he was a big 5'10". He wasn't, he's 5'10",
but also
5'10",
had the moves.
210.
He had the moves.
No, absolutely. 5'10", 208, 210, around that. And he, that exactly. No, I like that. I think
Yep.
I think that's fair. I would still probably say that this offense, I think this is the best team ever. I think this is the best offense ever. Right. That's just how I feel, but I'm not going to. If you're talking Gray Show on Turf, I mean,
yeah, I might pick this team and kind of say that that's where I'm feeling now, but I'm certainly not arguing against the Gray Show on Turf.
No, God no. A-Dog, appreciate the 5. Should the Rams consider OBJ for backup? So what's so funny to me is when I saw Adams go down and then I saw Nakua go down, my first thought was OBJ.
was
Because
it?
like late in the season, what are you gonna do?
Right.
You're not bringing him in to start over Kanate, who knows the playbook. You're
Right.
not bringing him in to start over a Jordan Whittington, who knows the playbook. Tutu Atwell, so forth. But if you did bring in anybody, it would make sense to bring in somebody like that. He's in good shape, and
Yep.
he has familiarity with McVay and Stafford, and McVay knows he could figure things out and pick up a playbook quickly because he had to.
Yep.
So it would almost be not the exact timeline because I think he had more games.
Oh yeah, it
than
was
three.
halfway through this because it was right. It was the week.
Yeah,
It was the week
it was
that
November. Yeah.
he wasn't it the week that Woods got injured. So we were thinking that we were
Yep.
going to have.
I'll never forget it. I was at a
Yeah.
Devils. I was at a New Jersey Devils game, and I got a text from somebody I didn't know, and they said Robert Woods out for the season, torn Achilles, or torn ACL, or was it torn? I can't remember now.
I think it was ACL, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean they're both brutal.
Yeah.
But I got it, and I didn't report it because I didn't know the person. It turns out it was somebody inside the Rams organization giving me an anonymous tip. I was in Newark, New Jersey, for the Devils game. It was like 11 a.m. I was exhausted, and I saw that, and I was just like, I'm going to pretend that I didn't see that, and I'm going to hope it's not true. And then I saw it was reported, and then the same dude texted me, was like, see, I told you. I was like, oh my God. The same freaking time. And I remember I did a video, like, I was like, how is anyone going to stop an offense with OBJ, Robert Woods?
Right.
It always seems to work itself
Didn't get
out
one
in the
game.
worst way.
Yeah.
It's unreal. You do it with baseball all the time. You're like, how are they going to fit all these? And then
Plus
someone
Robert
just
Woods,
gets hurt.
man. I mean,
I know.
he's a fan favorite.
I
love
hated
Robert
it.
Woods.
It made me so angry.
Yeah.
Especially you had, Deshaun Jackson just quit on the team. So,
Right.
it was...
I'm glad at least he got a ring with the Rams.
I mean, I guess. All right.
No, I meant Robert Woods.
Oh, yeah. Alex, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, Double X Alex. Sports Family, that's also musically gifted. Y'all should check out Fallout Bogan after the stream. Oh, my God.
That was fun.
Yeah, no,
That
I
was
had
a
a good time.
surprise. I have 3 kids, and 2 of them are musicians, and he's not one of them.
Nope.
So when he got up and sang,
And
That
keep in
shocked
mind,
me.
people know I don't drink, so it wasn't like
Right,
I was
right,
drunk,
it was- right.
Yeah, like, that's the funny thing.
yeah. Yeah, people criticizing him like he's not a singer. He just got up out of nowhere and sang.
Yeah, no, I know. It's
that
fun.
was pretty good.
I try.
Yep.
I mean, I had a good time.
No, that was great.
Oh, I think we just got another. Yeah, there we go. Derek, what's up? Thank you for the 5. Hi, Jake, Jason. Great game. My dad made me into a Rams fan as well since I was a kid. I see a couple games when they were in St. Louis, but go Rams. Appreciate it. I never saw a game in St. Louis.
Yep, I did.
I know you did. The Patriots game that I watched on TV. And I had it in my little brain when I was a young kid. See, amazing. It is truly amazing how that happens.
Welcome to JE Live, the other JE.
Yeah, it works out, right? It's truly amazing how that happens because when I was a little kid, like he was at the Patriots Rams game, and the Rams
2004.
got off to a good start. They ended up losing by like 20 points, but I always had it in my head that the Rams would find a way to win, and didn't ever really happen in the Sosar era. So, but yeah.
We didn't care. We always believed they were going to win,
Yeah,
no matter how bad they were.
yeah, exactly. And keep in mind, all we wanted was just another playoff, like to get to the playoffs, so we could watch. We knew they weren't going to win the Super Bowl. We just want to watch another game.
You know, we watched every game till the end.
Yeah, it's true.
They were so bad.
It is so true. So let's dive into the defense. So let's talk about the good. I want to give Nate Landman a lot of credit. I think the path he takes to the ball carrier, he takes great angles. He's so decisive. He's not the fastest linebacker, but he plays faster.
If you get there quick because you make quick decisions and you
Yeah,
take the right angles, that makes up for lack of speed.
and that's what I see with him.
And then if you
So
can tackle on top of it, then
absolutely. So that's kind of how I see it with Landman. I really really like Landman. I'm so glad he signed long term. Probably one of my favorites. I love being able to go back and see that I tweeted either a year ago or 2 years ago
right.
that I wanted Landman. It's such a wild thing, and like I even forgot about it. And I was looking. I was like, then one day, like someone brought up, like, "Oh yeah, you were the one that was saying we should sign Landman." I was like, "When the hell did I say that?" And then I was like, "Oh,
You went back
I
and looked.
tweeted it. I tweeted it a year ago."
That's
So,
funny.
yeah. So Landman looks really good.
Well, do you notice that he makes plays that you haven't seen out of Rams linebackers?
I haven't seen anybody make the plays Landman has made since Corey Littleton.
Okay. Yep.
That was the I remember because it was the last game you and I went to in LA, and it was the 2018 game against the Packers before today, and Corey Littleton is so underrated by the fan base. It's like people forgot about him, but he was
Right.
so good. Like you could blitz him. The thing about Corey Littleton, guys, is that he played at Washington. He was an undrafted rookie free agent. There was some weird stipulation where at Washington he had to finish his degree. So he
Yeah.
shows up late to OTAs. Like he not like by choice. Like he literally had to finish college before going over. It was some weird thing. So he didn't get a full off season. And then he worked his ass off. And this is like a tweener, like an edge defender that they were like trying to turn into a safety over at Washington. And eventually he just plays inside backer. He takes over for Mark Barron. One of the last games of the year against the Titans in 2017. And then it's like all she wrote after that. Like, oh, wow, this dude's really good. 2018 happens, then he becomes a free agent, and then he's gone. So
Funny. See,
it's
exactly the type of
frustrating
player
thing, but,
that Kobe Turner was talking about in the presser today.
yeah.
When, he was talking about we have, all these guys that are, they've come from small schools or they had to, transfer up to some of the bigger schools.
I
And
love that he said that.
yeah, and they've got a chip on their shoulder. They've got they've got their work cut out for them, and you get a bunch of guys like that kind of fighting together with that same kind of attitude. Sometimes it amounts to something special. I mean, it certainly is with these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I love Landman's ability. I love his angles. I don't love whatever's in my eye right now. But Landman has been fantastic for this team. He's been a leader. He's been a linchpin of this defense. And I thought today he played really well. I know the defense struggled, but I thought he looked great. Then I want to look at Kobe Turner. I thought he had some really key plays. He had the sack on Goff. At this point, I'm not like a sack over everything guy, but sacks matter. And when you see Jared Goff, I mean, you just got to hit him. You got to rattle him. And that's something the Rams just didn't do enough of today. They get away with the win because the offense is literally the best offense in football, but that was one thing that was really hard to watch. And I feel like I was early on this. Like I was the one that like came out and said, and I know there were some people in the comments that agreed with me. I just really felt like the defensive line was a little overrated. And it didn't mean bad. It just felt like we were talking about them in like this greatest show, not greatest show, fearsome foursome, tune. And yet I wasn't seeing that. I wasn't seeing the pressure. Right. I wasn't seeing the consistent sacks. You don't need to just get sacks, but if you're getting like, not high quality pressures, I'm trying to fight through this, but if you're not getting high quality pressures, then you're not really doing anything, right? Because a pressure's nice and all, like a hurry, but like I want to see hits on golf.
No, we needed that today, and when we finally got it, I mean, it was it really worked. We really got to them, and then I don't think we really got pressure again after that one drive.
No, it was frustrating. You thought after the sack that Turner had that was going to be like the turning point, and it really.
And a lot of times it is. A lot of times it is for us. We'll have it'll be a slow game for the line, and then they'll get a big sack, and then all of a sudden the pressure starts mounting towards the end of the game. It didn't really seem to happen this game, but
I thought Fisk had some serious burn in the run defense department, we'll say. I thought he looked really good. Puna Ford is everywhere. Puna Ford has you and I cracking up because he'll just end up on
he
the
makes a
sideline.
tackle. We're like, how did he get there?
He's an alien, and he's not like a crazy athlete, like by measure or whatever.
Just in
but
the right
he just
place and-
yeah. And again,
Yeah.
it goes back to what you're saying. If you're false stepping, it doesn't matter how good you run your 40
Right,
time.
right.
Like it doesn't matter how fast you are. If you make false steps, if you take bad angles, it slows you down.
You don't have good technique. I mean,
Yeah.
what he's done for the run defense. I know we already talked about it, but it's worth repeating. What he's done for the run defense is just incredible.
Yeah. It's
We
so
saw
key
it
and
in
critical.
Carolina. He was limited due to the injury, and they're running all over us. He played like 14 plays, and every time he was in there, they couldn't run. And then when he was gone, they're running all over us again.
I know, and it goes to show you like what we were talking about. I mean, I sit on here, we've talked about it. The Carolina game, I really do believe a healthy Puna Ford is enough to win that football game.
Yep.
I just it was so fascinating to me because it's not like Carolina was running the ball the way the Rams ran the ball today, or the way the Rams were running the ball against Carolina. Carolina was running the ball 4 yards a carry. If you go 4 yards a carry every time, you still can get a first down.
Right.
I think it's underrated, honestly. And that's kind of the big thing about the Rams is that Kyron Williams, you put him in there, he's not going to lose yards.
Kind
That's
of why
the
I
big thing.
defended Darrell Henderson when so many people were down
Yeah.
on him. He was a guy that, he didn't get the big runs, but he never lost yards. And, we'd put other running backs in, and they're losing yards. He was one of those guys that would always get at least like 3 or 4 yards. And that's underrated because losing yards or even getting no yards is a drive killer.
Absolutely.
It really hinders what you can call on the next play. And, I mean, that was the great thing about Henderson. Then, of course, he could catch the ball and he could block. But
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, yeah, I thought the defensive line against the run, they were really good. They were feisty. Byron Young did a great job. Jared Verse had a couple huge plays. But aside from that, I don't feel like they got enough pressure. I just don't. And that's where I want to talk about, like, the secondary. I saw the comment section. A lot of people in the comment section they're tearing the secondary to shreds. I don't necessarily think that's fair. Because that kind of absolves the blame from the defensive line. And I feel like you could put it equal, or you could say maybe it's a little bit more defensive line than secondary.
Right.
But if I have to cover for 11, 12 seconds, I won the rep.
Right.
I won the rep. And now I'm losing because Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be wide open because I'm exhausted and he's just running around this damn circle. And the defensive line can't get to Jared Goff.
Yep.
So that needs to be cleaned up, and I'm hoping it is. It was tough today because if you don't get to Jared Goff with 4, and they didn't, which
Right.
was surprising and concerning, then you have to blitz, and Goff is so good against the blitz because it signals to Goff, who I don't feel like the mental processing is on the level of a Stafford, or I just think we all
Right.
can agree on that.
No, you could see it when we did get pressure. I mean, after that sack, and then
Yeah.
we got a little bit of pressure, and he just throws the ball. I mean, it wasn't even close to anybody.
No.
And he starts panicking. You can see it. But when he's got all that protection, he's just so laid back and...
The throw to,
Yeah.
I mean, if he completes that, it's a completely different ball game. The one to Jameson Williams down the field, he freaking uncorked that thing. But my biggest thing in that video was like, look, you got to get pressure on Goff. You got to rush 4. Don't blitz. If you blitz, it signals somebody's going to be open for Goff, and he can make those plays. I mean, he's in the NFL for a reason. We can sit here and clown him. At the end of the day, Goff is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. A great quarterback would still be able to do whatever under any circumstance. You look at Joe Burrow, okay? He hasn't had an offensive line his entire career, Probably why
He
he's
didn't
always
have an
injured.
offensive line in the Super Bowl year.
No,
It was actually remarkable what he was able to do
I don't
with
think
that offensive line.
it's talked about nearly enough how
Yeah.
good Joe Burrow is, considering I don't know what they do over in Cincinnati, but they don't develop offensive
Yeah.
line.
They don't invest in offensive line.
Yeah,
The fact that you have a quarterback like Burrow and you're destroying him with that's just criminal.
It is. And today they lost. They got destroyed by the
Yeah.
Ravens. Such a shame. They almost beat the Bills. They looked like they could have come back. And it makes you wonder. I mean, I know it gets people excited about Burrow in the future.
He might retire before Stafford.
I mean, at this point, good God. Do you see his presser? He doesn't seem like he loves football anymore. That's kind of sad. But
Yep.
but yeah, anyway, we're kind of going off topic there.
That's my fault. That's what I do.
But point being, right, is that you got to get to Goff without, blitzing. But there are some guys that struggle against the blitz. And one guy in particular, you can actually, I mean, he can still do his thing, but Sam Darnold, if you get pressure on him on Thursday, he will fold more than Goff.
Yeah.
And I like Darnold.
We've seen it. I mean,
Yeah,
what is he
4
thrown,
interceptions.
8 interceptions the last 2 times we faced him.
Yeah, I think I'm not saying he's going to throw 4, but I think the Rams are going to get after him. I mean, they didn't even score a touchdown today against the Colts.
Right.
And the Colts haven't been playing well, So, yeah, it's one of those things where I trust them to get it figured out, and I trust they'll be better in the playoffs, but they have got to figure it out because you can't be playing these games where you got to get pressure on a guy and you can't, and now the secondary is just thrown under the bus. It's not going to work,
Right.
especially when you're not 100%. There was a lot of people asking me why the hell I was wearing number 4 when Ahkello Witherspoon wasn't playing. Did I know ahead of time? Answer, I did. I don't agree with it. Not necessarily that I don't agree with him getting benched. I just didn't agree with the idea like we're going to have him inactive.
Yeah.
I thought that was stupid.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, and if the reason is you don't think he's up to game speed, not playing in a game is not going to do that. I don't understand, but
yeah, I don't either. I would love to know where Emmanuel Forbes went. For when we saw him,
he was looking like a
Tampa.
Pro Bowler, and then all of a sudden, last week he disappeared.
Because it's not that does concern me against Seattle.
2 weeks ago,
because that is he's not as close. Like when covering, like he doesn't look like he's right there in the hip pocket. He's like trailing, like not even playing from the trail technique. He is trailing, like he's getting destroyed. And so that is a concern of mine. Is you see it like Jameson Williams had 2 steps on him,
Right.
3 steps on him maybe. And then you have Amon-Ra St. Brown doing the same thing. That's a concern
You've
of
got
mine.
JSN next week, so
Yeah, JSN is the second best receiver in the league after Puka right now. So, in my opinion, I was right about JSN. I said before the season started, we're looking at a superstar here. Even Seahawks fans were like, I think he's really good. I don't know if he's going to be a superstar.
right.
Told you.
Now they're like, he's better than Puka.
Yeah,
Like, come
those
on.
same people. I'm like, come on now. Yeah, so, the secondary, they're not 100%. I think Kello plays on Thursday. I think a lot of today had to do with, okay, it's going to be a short week. They really value him.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what it's going to be.
That's what I'm hoping it was.
The safeties, I didn't see from the vantage point we were in, I can't really say too much about the safeties.
Right.
When I go back and I watch the tape or, we rewatch this game in like regular, probably tape, I would say. I'll be able to figure out how well the safeties played. But it's hard, man, because, it's a zoomed in broadcast view.
Right.
So we're not seeing, it was great. I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend if you can ever get, tickets like that.
Yeah.
Someday, you gotta sit in the 100s section. It's just game changing.
Yeah.
But that said, just like any time, if you sit too close to the action, you're missing what you can see
Right.
from a bird's eye view.
And I wasn't what I was focusing in on actually was Goff. I was looking to see if we're getting pressure on him.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, when we weren't, I just knew, when he made a throw, I'm like, that's going to be complete. And sure enough, you give any NFL quarterback that kind of time, they're completing most of their passes.
It's true. It's absolutely true. So yeah, I mean, not a ton really that I can say. That's the thing. The offense, it's a lot easier. The film is how you really, like, people who know defense, people who are able to really evaluate defense, they watch tape. You have to watch tape to be able to know, because afterwards you can point out different things, but there are a lot of there are a lot of different nuances and little details that you'll miss.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you have to see if they get burned. The
Yeah.
guy's wide open. You see that he's wide open. He makes the catch. You don't see how he got open.
yeah.
If he got open because he's in a seam in the zone and there's just nobody there, that's one thing. If you see he's wide open because he broke a guy's ankles, that's on the defender.
One thing I'll point out is he got video of what was it? Josiah Stewart depleting. Was it Jameson Williams? It was like the screen, and then he cut inside, and then he just destroyed him. I'll have to post that.
That was great. That was right in front of us too.
That was sick. You got some good video.
Yeah.
That I really liked what I saw from. I just love the presence of Desjuan Johnson. This is a guy that's barely played this year, and then last week he has like 6 pressures, and it literally knocked Nick Hampton off the roster. Like, they cut Nick Hampton afterwards. Hampton comes back on the practice squad, which is cool. But Desjuan Johnson, man, like, this is a former interior defensive lineman, Mr. Irrelevant, guy I actually wanted him to draft. I loved his tape out of Toledo. But Desjuan Johnson is now playing as an edge defender. And I feel like they got the idea because Michael Hoyt. Because he's like really overly like big, like it looks kind of odd.
Right.
But he looks so comfortable there. He moves so well. I don't know if you saw him. 94, he was everywhere.
Is he as fast as Hoyt?
I don't know. I don't think so. But who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I like Desjuan Johnson a lot. I love Braden Fisk. I love seeing 55. And I like the reps that Josh Wallace is getting, because this is a young player who hasn't really played a lot.
Yeah.
They're going to need him,
Well, again,
you can't
it's the depth thing. You want to be able to have everybody on that roster ready to go in when needed. And again, injuries happen to every team, and you never know where it's going to happen. So when you have that kind of depth all around the team, you're just much better equipped to handle it than anybody else.
Absolutely. So, do you have anything else that you wanted to say? Well, I think we have some super chats, and then probably wrap it up.
Do the super chats.
So, Christopher, thank you for the 5. This team is probably the closest to seeing the 1998 to 2001 St. Louis team. The offense and defense is elite, and Stafford's just on another level. Yeah, so I will say I feel like the offense is elite. The defense has really kind of pushed me back a little bit. They're still top 5 in the league, but I wouldn't say that they're elite. They are rough around the edges. They have their moments.
They looked like they were getting there. They looked like they were there, and there's been a little.
And I also think a lot of it, and this might sound crazy, but I think a lot of it's game plan. I think that the better this offense does, I honestly think it's not necessarily Chris Schulich, Sean McVay. Hey, just play bend, don't break.
Right.
We're going to score 40. Just don't give up.
Well,
more
and that's
than
true too. It's a strategy.
I just want to win. I don't
be
care
able
how
to win a
good your
game
defense
41-34
Yeah.
is Sean McVay saying, this is how I want to win games.
Yeah.
I'm not that he wants to give up 34.
No.
And most of the time we don't. Most of the time they'll be moving the ball. We'll all get frustrated, but they won't score.
Exactly.
And it's designed that way, and it's not the first defense to do that.
And
it's
to
been
be
in the
fair,
league since I was a kid.
To be fair,
and it works.
They were 2 scores away if they don't just throw the flag on fours.
Yeah.
That was BS. That was soft from Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Like enough to
No,
make
I
you
know.
lose respect for a receiver. You know,
That was like a flop.
yeah. That is
basketball.
flopping, which should have been
Yeah.
a penalty on him. But
also, the ball landed like 6 yards in front of where the receiver was. So that's an
Jared Goff,
uncatchable.
so,
That's an uncatchable ball. That it was ridiculous to call that
absolutely.
pass interference.
Oh well.
Well.
Actual David Henry, thank you for the 5. Just got here. What is the latest on Devontae? There is really no latest on him. Sean McVay said it didn't look good. We all saw it. Didn't look good. But, Devontae feels optimistic about playing Thursday. Sean was a little bit more pessimistic about playing Thursday. I think this is where Sean McVay needs to step in and say, I know you want to play. I know you're a competitor. Big
And I
picture.
think he will. Because, again, we have depth.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not be as big a names as Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, but our wide receivers, I think they'll step up. I really do.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And in red zone, I think, we've got tight ends that will step up and make those catches in the red zone.
Absolutely.
And Whittington. I'd really love to see. Whittington looked like last year, he looked like he was going to be, up at another level this year. And, I mean, he's been good. I mean, he's done some good things, but obviously he hasn't gotten to that level. But this is one of those games that gives him a chance, just like when Puka was out earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And it gave other guys a chance, and that increases their confidence, gives them more experience, gives confidence in the play calling for McVay to know, I can put these guys in and they can make a play when we need a first down or a touchdown. So
yeah, I mean Whittington, he'll probably have a better year next year. It just feels like they kind of got obsessed with we have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because I mean, after those two, everybody has low yardage.
Yep.
So it's not just him. But I do agree.
Yep.
Christopher, thanks again for the 5. Rams offense in second in points, averaging 28 points per game with over 33 points per game since the game in Jacksonville. Yeah, they are on an absolute tear. Best offense in the league. I felt like this was the game where I felt like I was leaning towards they're by far the best offense in the league now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah, the last few, I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever, however many weeks, they're starting to look like the greatest show on turf did when they first came to the league, and it was looking like, you're playing Madden.
Yeah, it just...
Which was...
Down 24-14. Who's worried? Not a single soul. Mas Tortillas, love the name. Thank you for the 10. If we stay healthy and play even at minimum in the turnover game, we should be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy in February. The only other concern is that it seems as if Shula's schemes have been off. I think I will stand by this. I think it is the game plan. I think they've now entered their final form for their offense. And they know that, like, literally, if they don't score over 30 points, they're probably going to win. Yeah. So, that's kind of like...
Although, I'll say, for this game, everyone knew that the key to this game was to stop the run.
And they did that.
And we did that.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get the pressure that we needed, and Goff was able to pass a lot more than he should have been able to.
And as I said to you during the game, this isn't something the Lions have done.
Right.
The touchdown, the deep, the touchdown, the short touchdown that like he took and ran for like 50-something yards.
Right. That's more.
That's how they've been winning. But like Jared Goff having to throw that bomb down the field, like that hasn't been the Lions.
Right.
That's been the Lions in the past with Ben Johnson. It hasn't been the Lions at all this year. So I thought that was really telling how they really transformed their offense, and they went back to like the old Ben Johnson Lions just to go after this Rams team.
Right.
And it shows a lot of respect that they have to the Rams.
Yeah,
clearly.
I was hoping that the line would step up for. I mean, you get the feeling that they're such a tight team.
Oh yeah,
and that and in fairness, the Lions, I think they they've been the last few years, wanting to win this game badly for Goff. And I feel like, the Rams look at Stafford as, he's obviously their leader, but I felt that they were emotionally going to step up and have the line, especially have a big game against Goff. And
Yeah, I was definitely disappointed
Yeah.
in that
Yep.
that output against
boy,
Goff.
I can barely talk because of that sack. Just
Oh yeah, and again, shout out to the Rams fans making that a home field advantage. I
Yeah.
mean, my brother texts us in the group chat, and he's like, you can't even hear the announcers sometimes. Like
Right.
how loud it was.
It was great. When they had to call that timeout, that just
You knew
that
it.
was us. It was like we were part of the game.
Yeah.
Which is most
You
teams
see Goff
have
going
that.
like this,
Yeah, he's like, come on, come on, come on.
and the center did not hear it all.
Yeah. No, that was great. That's something that most teams have that, or a lot of teams have that, anyways. And it was really great to see that happen for us and to be there and be a part of it.
That is going to be such a hard place to play in the postseason.
Yeah.
Get home field advantage throughout
Yep.
the playoffs. Force the 49ers, the Eagles, the Seahawks, whoever, to come there. And, I mean, really, the 49ers would be a team. Eagles travel well. But I think the playoffs, it's just different. Like, the 49ers
Yeah.
would make that like a 50-50.
Right.
But, like, the Eagles, that would be tough to do that.
Yeah.
Because, like, you get dibs on the home tickets.
Well, and also, I mean, we've seen it from going out there year after year. That,
Yeah.
that it's getting to be a much stronger fan base, and this is a team that is worth rooting for, and worth putting that show that we had when we went to the tailgate, with just again, that was phenomenal. Any of you who are part of that tailgate, thank you. And it just, I was smiling so much, my face was hurting. It was just, we don't get to see that in New York. We can see the games, but we can't see that tailgate and that, see all the fans. It was fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sports Talk with Austin. Thank you for the 5. Seahawks fan here. I am glad the Rams won today. Both teams meet at 11-3 on Thursday night for the division. Nothing better. Can't wait. Great job, fellas.
Yeah. What a great game that's going to be.
Appreciate it, Austin. Yeah, that's the cool thing. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Seattle. I always say I feel like the NFC West creators, I think they're so great. And I actually really like the 49ers, content creators. But a lot of 49er fans, not all of them, but a lot of them make it kind of hard. I've really enjoyed dialogue with Seahawks fans this year. Now, they like me because I said early on that they're the second best team in the league. Before they
Right.
believed they were the
Right.
second best team in the league. So I've been on the Seahawks for a while.
Well, and you like their coach. You like their coaching choice.
Oh, I
2 years
love
ago,
their
too.
coaching choice.
Yeah.
Mike Mike
Well, you
McDonald.
didn't like it because you didn't like that he was going to the Seahawks.
Yes, but you just knew.
Yeah.
You're like, this dude is
That was a
legit.
good choice.
They come around every now and then, and he's a culture builder, right?
Yep.
And you first year 10 wins, this year 11 wins. He's just getting better and better.
With 3 left to play.
And he hired Clint Kubiak, so that was smart, from the Saints. And then what I like that Schneider did is the GM. He goes out and he gets Rashid Shaheed, who had his best year with Clint Kubiak. So, there are things like that I always admire. It's not just, for lack of a better term, like a bias or whatever. It's not just favoritism. Like, the whole familiarity factor matters. So when you're able to find guys that fit your system, that's great. But you find guys that already know your system and do all of that, that's even better. And you just watched McDonald. I mean, I know the Rams had no issue scoring on McDonald in the Ravens game that they lost in overtime. But I watched McDonald stifle Jared Goff. I watched McDonald stifle Kyler Murray. I watched him stifle Brock Purdy, right? Yep. The Seahawks, Geno Smith was awful against him. So the Rams were the only team that looked good against McDonald. So yeah, I was like, damn, this dude's legit. And yeah, you can tell the Ravens defense hasn't been the same since he left. And Seattle is building something special. So, yeah, I think I mean, both those teams, and then you got to give the Niners credit. They found their way to 10 wins. So, they're what, 10-4?
Yeah.
So there you go.
That defense has been so decimated.
I
Like,
know.
all their best players.
It's crazy. NFC West is, and it just cracks me up because this is why, like, what bothers me so much about the NFC South is, like, the Arizona Cardinals had to play these teams twice. Do you think the Arizona Cardinals could be in the playoffs if they were in the NFC South?
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. So now instead of that, they're eliminated already. They're going to be picking in, like, the top 7 because they're in the NFC West, and they lost most of their games by, like,
on the bright side
possession.
for them, they have a much better team than their record indicates, and they're getting a higher draft pick.
It's funny because I keep saying it on the roundtable. I keep telling Mike straight up. I'm like, they kind of remind me of the 2016 Rams. Like, you get that one guy in there, and you have a good roster. Like, I don't think they're as bad as the record. I think their spirit has been broken, and I think the important guys got hurt. But, appreciate it. And then we have my guy Chris Zeffro. I would have loved to meet up with you today.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to meet you.
I know. It was a bummer. It was hard to meet everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to SoFi. Damn zoo.
Yeah.
It's so hard to...
It is not easy to...
Ugh.
I was thinking, I was thinking we were going to be meeting people, and it's like you just can't... They put you in this one box, and if the person you want to meet isn't in that box, like, nope.
No. And afterwards, too, because the thing that people don't know is that once you leave the 100 or 200 section, you go up to 300, they block off the escalator to get down. So it's like, you're kind of shit out of luck. So yeah, Chris, appreciate you. Jake, we broke our losing streak at SoFi. Let's get them in Seattle. Safe travels, buddy. Hope to see you soon. Likewise, my friend. Chris took me, he brought me to Santa Clara. We saw the Rams beat the 49ers. I wasn't sure how that game was going to go down, except for the fact I knew the Rams were going to win. That's how I felt. But Chris is like, I have a feeling they're just going to kick the shit out of the 49ers. And they did, 42-26. It really, I say it all the time. It's 42-20, really. It was just a garbage time touchdown. Impressive by Kittle, but garbage time nonetheless. Appreciate you, Chris. Definitely hoping to see you soon. Bella, thank you for the 2. We can pass, run anywhere to anybody. Yeah, I mean, that's true. And it's so funny to me because, again, no one has been able to stop the run in like how many weeks. So it's like, that's why I'm not as worried about Devontae Adams right now. If they were without him the rest of the year, I'd be concerned. I still think they can win the Super Bowl without Devontae Adams. I do.
It would suck to be without him for Seattle, but I think that's... I mean, we don't know what the injury is, but if it was even close to as bad as it looked...
He's not playing.
Yeah.
It's best he doesn't play.
On 4 days
Puka
rest.
shouldn't have played.
Yeah.
They said it was cramps. I don't care what it was. He shouldn't have played.
Like, why is he out there?
It's so frustrating. But anyway, LA Canuck, appreciate you. Thank you for the 20. Late to the party here. Really had a great time at SoFi. Glad we finally got the W against the Lions. We started a little slow, but picked it up. D really went to town. What's the word on Adams? Love you being in town, J.E. Carl. What's up, Carl? Yeah, not sure, like, exactly what it is on Adams. I don't think we'll know until, like, Wednesday, to be honest. He'll probably be a game-time decision. I don't think he plays, but I think they'll probably, for gamesmanship purposes, I think they'll have him up to that point.
Right. Prepare for him.
Yeah. I think this is a big game for Tutu Atwell, personally. That's that speed that can really mess up that defense. I don't think they have a guy that can really cover him.
For a guy who has not played that much, he's made a lot of big plays. Not even just bombs, but plays like today. And he's made other plays like that on key first downs, making, great catches in tight spaces. I mean,
and you just see him off to the side, and he's talking to everybody. He's not like how a guy that talented, hardly used in his entire career. And he's never once complained. And yet we saw Deshaun Jackson want out.
I know.
Like, I still can't... It can't even wrap my mind around that. Or that. Anyway.
That's just when you turn to the side it loses your eyes, and then
It's so annoying.
yeah.
Justin, thank you for the 5. Shula's turnaround in the second half shows this team can adapt despite personnel changes. Pass rush was a little better. That's fair. I still thought the pass rush needed to be better than it's better.
Yeah, but they did make some stops where the first half it was
Oh yeah, first
so
half
frustrating.
was irritating. It really was. Let's see here. Oh, we got 2 from Double X Alex.
Come on, no yawning.
I know.
I've been holding back the yawns, and I'm the old man.
Yeah, well, I'm tired too. Alex, thank you for the 10. If y'all get a chance to rewatch the game and listen to Tom Brady, it sounds like he was really impressed with Shula's adjustments coming out at halftime. Could be the next Raiders head coach after this year. Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I think, I think it's going to be Robert Saleh. That's my pick. They wanted to hire him as the defensive coordinator. I told you about this. They offered him the most money for a defensive coordinator in the entire NFL with the stipulation he was going to take over for Pete Carroll after 1 year. He wanted to go back to the 49ers, and it's probably the best decision he could have made.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, good God. Go back to the team you had success with that has success, or go to the Raiders.
Here's what I don't get, and you see this in just the regular work world, is that sometimes you don't need to be elevated to the top.
Yeah.
You don't need to be the head coach. If you're that good of a defensive coordinator,
Spagnuolo.
why can't you just pay a guy head coach money, pay him extra money because that's what you're great at? So when you get promoted, not only are you going to a job that you're not as good at, but now you're not giving the value at the thing that you are good at. And again, you see that in just, I'm sure all of you in your regular jobs, you see somebody get promoted. It's like, wait, they were great at this, so they got promoted to manager. And it's like, management is a whole different, it's a whole different set of skills. And now you lose this great skill set, and you're not good at this one, so it's like a double whammy. So
That's hitting too close to home for people. I already know it. But no, I agree. Alex, thank you for the 5. Wish I could have made it to this game to meet you, Jason. My dad being a lifelong musician as well, I'd love to pick your brain about music next year.
I hope I make it back next year.
Yeah, Alex is great. I've told you about him. He's a friend of mine. We went to the Lakers game together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I took him to the Lakers game, and I met him at in Santa Clara. So
Cool.
he picked me up from the airport.
Yep.
So yeah,
I love that.
he's good people. Always has been. Appreciate you, Alex. All right, CLG. Corum and Kyron were more Sonic and Knuckles than Gibbs and Monty. You're absolutely right. Oh, man, so true. Our tight ends are insane. I think we'll be okay without Tay Thursday. I agree.
Yep.
Keep in mind, this is the same defense that gave up over 7 yards per carry against Kyron. The Seahawks.
Right.
You know? And that game was so close. I still think McVay...
Yep.
I think McVay still has it in the back of his mind. Like,
And you say McClendon wasn't in that game?
he was not in that game. That was Higbee,
Yep.
and that was Havenstein. And then everybody acted like the sky was falling because Higbee, Havenstein, and Lake were placed on IR. Now, Lake, I do think that's the sky is falling feeling because he's so important. But, I mean, I like Higbee. But, like, you're seeing, like, what is Higbee going to do right now better than Parkinson?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And Havenstein is not better than Warren McClendon right now. So,
No.
you know, that's...
We love him. He's an all-time Ram.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah.
But, you know...
McClendon is just... he's not just a backup. McClendon is a legitimate... I mean, he's... What was he? He was like 11th ranked tackle on PFF.
Yeah.
Of all tackles, left and right
He's only
tackles.
given up 6 pressures all year. I mean, well, before this game. I'll tally it up after
And he was rising every week. Like you said, he might, maybe this week he doesn't after having to go against Hutchinson. But
he had 9 pressures last week, Hutchinson did. He's just so good, you know?
Yep.
Bella, thank you for the 5. I said this last week, but Puka is well. Puka, dare you to show me a better receiver? Yeah, I mean he
Nope.
is the best. He's the best receiver
He's
in the NFL. You're just like, all right, screw this shit. Uh, he's the best receiver in the NFL. I agree with you, Bella. There he is. There's Joe. Joe Tronco. You
Hey,
guys are doing
Joe.
a great job. Didn't get the parlay today. We'll get it next time. Go Rams.
I didn't either.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. I told him
I got to use my sleeper since I'm out here in California.
just
Can't use it in New York. So.
yeah, yep, exactly. And then Joe, I'll see you. I'll see you soon, man.
Maybe we'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, maybe. And Cruz, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you. So yeah, that is all the super chats. Here's a quick word from Sleeper. You can get 100% bonus match up to $100 using my code JKB. Also, be sure to get in on the action and use your $20 free entry if you haven't already. Highly recommend it. My father got in on it today. He didn't win, but it was still cool.
It was fun.
Right? It was fun.
Yep.
So, yeah, you don't even have to deposit to do that, but use the code JKB when you do deposit. And, of course, be sure to check out the link in the description. Sleeper's great because, I mean, we have our Dynasty Fantasy Football League on there. You could do so many different things, and it's not just football. It's also basketball and hockey, so baseball. Be sure to check it out. Again, link is in the description below. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Just that it was a great trip. It was great getting to meet so many Rams fans and so many followers of yours. And as you always say, how much you appreciate them. And I will say personally how much I appreciate all of you. And I will speak for Jake's mom as well, because our son gets to do what he absolutely loves doing for a living because of you guys. And when he says that he appreciates you, I know from speaking to him in private, he's not just saying that. It means so much to him and to all of us. So, thanks.
Yeah, this has been awesome. I can't believe I don't know how many of these I've done, but can't believe it's been this long to finally get my dad on here. We've tried. We have. You're busy.
I haven't
I'm
tried
busy.
as hard as I could have. I don't know.
know.
I kept blowing it off, and I don't know.
Well, okay, I'm glad he pointed that out. So it's not me that hasn't invited him. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah, one of these days. So today
Yeah.
was the day.
Yep.
You've got me cornered. I'm here.
So I mean, we had a blast. We're pretty tired. Maybe we'll watch a little bit of the Rams game. Go to bed, and then we have the SoFi Stadium tour in all likelihood tomorrow. So I've been there, but he has not had a tour yet. So it's cool. I went with Alex actually and Brent. Shout out to Brent. But yeah, that's it. We fly out Tuesday. I won't get back until the night. Probably, like I said, I'm likely going to miss the NFC West Roundtable. So Wednesday, expect content in some capacity. I'll get with Alexis and see what DTR looks like probably Wednesday in some capacity. But yeah, Brandon and I are going to do a show that is set in stone on Wednesday. But that's all I got. So hope you guys enjoyed. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the donos, a lot of them. And yeah, be sure to check out my dad on social media at Jason Bogan. Check me out at JK Bogan. And that's all I got. Anything else?
Go Rams.
Hell yeah. Later, folks.